Welcome back. Time to talk men's basketball. And with us, head coach Bill Sall. And coach, your team started off the regular season this past weekend, back-to-back nights against Division I teams in Michigan and Central Michigan, and I know it was a great experience for your team.
It really was, Rob. To go play at Michigan and at Central in those types of atmospheres, I think was just a lot of fun for our guys and an experience that I think that they'll have for a lifetime and memories of a lifetime.
I know we've got some highlights of the Michigan game. First on Friday night, you head to Ann Arbor at the renovated Chrysler Arena to take on the Wolverines. You were right there in the game for much of the way. Last 5 or 6 minutes, Michigan able to pull away. But talk about your performance in that game.
I was very happy. I think our defensive effort was really good. And in this game, they made their first 3 threes. But after that, we did a great job defensively. I thought we played a little more disciplined style of basketball. Unfortunately, we had a little trouble making shots and had some really good looks that we did miss. So that was one thing that was disappointing. But here you see Dan Sutherland going up on a dunk, and he had a great game, and a number of our guys just played with a lot of energy and did really good things.
Bulldogs down by just 5 points with about 10 or 11 minutes to go, and it was still about an 8-point game with about 7 or 8 minutes left, and then Michigan able to make some shots down the stretch to pull away.
Yeah, they did, and it's to be expected a little bit. Not only is this a Division I team, but probably in every preseason ranking a top 20 team. Lots of experience back, lots of really good players. So, we were at a disadvantage on the size issue all through the night. But again, I love just the ability of our guys to compete and really go at it.
Daniel Sutherland led the way, 11 points. You got some contributions from another good group of individuals as well.
Yeah, we did. Jarrell Sanders, I thought, played Tim Hardaway, who probably is going to be an NBA player. You see him there making a little curl cut shot exceptionally well. Dante Molden, I thought, that did a nice job of running our team. And again, I think we had just good defensive performances from everybody. Now, I would love to have made a few more shots to keep things a little interesting. We did shoot a very low percentage, but in the same breath, we held Michigan for most of that game. If you take away that last stanza, just around 30% shooting, so that's a pretty good job on our defense.
It was a 6-point game at halftime. What were some of the things you talked about at halftime coming out in the second half?
Well, we told them, man, we just did such a nice job of defending after those first 3 or 4 minutes, but trying to find a little bit of better pulse of what we can do offensively. And, we tried a few things, and unfortunately, we never really found that rhythm. But we're talking about a great defensive team as well. Man, they really know how to play. But what a great experience. Just a lot of fun. Chrysler Arena, the renovations are beautiful. And like I said, our guys had a great time.
59-33 the final on Saturday night. You come right back, short rest. You head to Mount Pleasant to take on Central Michigan and talk about the carryover from Friday night into Saturday. I know you started slow, but you came on in the end against the Chippewas. We
really did. And again, I really just love the effort that my team put out there. We start the game 18-2. We didn't make a field goal because those were 2 free throws, I think, for about 9 minutes. And I was wondering at that point if we were ever going to make a shot. But it was really neat to see them come back, determined. We made a little run of our own. And then really in that second half, played extremely well, got right back into the mix of things. And with less than a minute to go, it's a 2-point game on a 3-pointer by Dante Molden. So we're right there for the taking. And they made a few free throws. We missed a couple of shots and ended up losing 65-60. But what a great game. And again, very happy to see our team start to really come together.
You had every chance to win that game on Saturday night. Talk about some of the contributions you got. Kenny Brown leading the way with 20 points.
Well, it's good to see Kenny start to shoot the ball. He's going to need for us to do that. And again, Dante Molden, after really a rough first half where he turned the ball over uncharacteristically, really, came back and had a very strong effort. And then, and we're trying to really figure out what we have as a team. That's the biggest thing right now. We've got a number of freshmen. We're still trying to find out rotations and who can really play. But it was good to see freshman Drew Lehman really step up. I thought Dietrich Lieber, another freshman, played well. And again, I think that's going to be a progression we're going to continue to see and trying to do some of that by committee. But good to see the young guys go and then some of our veterans really step up and play well.
Both of these games playing against teams that are maybe a little bigger, more athletic possibly, and it seemed like later in the Central game at least you had some success with a smaller lineup against Central Michigan.
We really did. We were able to do that. They went small, I think, to try to defend us. And I think that's our best offense alignment when we can put 3 guards and then really shuffle Jarrell and Dan and maybe Jimmy and a few of those freshmen in at those positions. So again, it's one of those things we're trying to figure it out as well, and the only way you're going to figure it out is by playing games and seeing what works really well.
How much of a factor was playing 2 nights in a row against those 2 types of teams in those environments on the road?
Well, I think a little bit, especially the start. I think we came out a little sluggish until we really got in the flow of things. In the same breath, hey, you're having the opportunity to play in some really neat arenas against Division I opponents. You know, you're young, 19 to 21 years old. If you can't get up for those games and play hard, then you're doing the wrong thing for a sport.
This week, you finally get a chance to play another Division II team, play an in-region opponent in Lewis on the road Saturday afternoon. What do you know about the Flyers coming into Saturday's matchup?
Well, they're a very good team, a big test for us on the road. We played them here last year, and they basically took us everything we had to win that game. They have almost everybody returning from that team. I think they lose 2 guys, 2 seniors from last year's team. So we're really going to have to go out there, and we've been on the road now, which is nice. Our routine is pretty similar, what we got to do on the road. So now we got to really step up and get a win on the road.
You, as you mentioned, playing on the road, difficult environment at Neil Carey Arena. But how have these past three games, I guess, against Division I teams helped prepare you for that?
Well, I think the good thing is you know, we've done basically the last 2 games season openers for both teams, so you're going to get that excitement, that feel, and now this is Lewis's season opener. Really to watch tape, and that's what I'm a big believer in. When you have a situation where you can actually watch what you've done and now prepare for what you have to do, along with that playing against really good opponents, man, the flaws really show. And so now we're going to be able to really look back and review this week about the things we need to do to get better as a team.
Next week, you come back home, play your home opener on Tuesday against Olivet. You've got a Saturday game. It's going to be nice playing back at home at Jim Wink Arena.
It certainly will. We always love that option, and you know, we've had a good record here in the time I've been here at home, and it is important to get those home wins. So you know, we're going through the process right now. I think is we're taking these 3 games and now, all right, where are we going to be by the time we start the season opener in the GLIAC, which is on the road, and I think that will really help us.
As you mentioned, you start conference play at the beginning of December, some tough regional matchups beforehand, and I'm sure those regional matchups are going to help prepare you as well for the conference action.
Absolutely. I'm always a big believer, again, in having a tough schedule. Tougher the better in some ways. And I certainly outdid myself this year, but you know, I think all these things will really help us as we look forward to January, February in the GLIAC season.
Well, Coach, best of luck as you get ready to take on Lewis Saturday afternoon.
Thanks, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.